Thanks, guys. Here with Browns head coach Kevin Stefanski. Coach, big win over the Baltimore Ravens, 3 of the last 4. Now, what has kind of been the formula in this run for this football team?
Yeah, I mean, playing complementary football. When you're playing well offensively, defensively, and special teams, when you're playing off of each other, it makes things easier for all sides of the ball. And then takeaways. Takeaways and giveaways. We've talked at length about how important that stat is, turnover margin. And in this last game, to have a clean slate finally on the offensive side, not turn that ball over, to get 2 on consecutive defensive plays, that's the game right there.
Turnovers have started to come, especially interceptions of late. What have you kind of seen change from this defense?
Yeah, I think there's always little adjustments that you're making throughout the season, and I think guys are getting healthier, guys are understanding what they're doing and making plays. And I know that's a simple way of putting it, but it is a playmaking game. And I think back to Denzel's interception in the red zone. I mean, they're moving the ball. We needed to make a play. Denzel stepped in front of a slant and made a play. John Johnson, the next play, they have a good completion. He punches that ball out. Their player tried to cover it up, tried to use great ball security, but John put a great fist on that ball, and the ball was out.
How about going back to when they got down in the red zone and John Johnson met Patrick Ricard in the hole and stoned him? That's not a small man.
No, that's not. I can confirm, not a small man. So much of short yardage defense is just sheer will. I think in that moment, you're going to have to take on a guy like that. It has to be what we call a high surface tackle, so you have to take him on with all of your chest and some of your shoulder to negate that forward lean from him. But John stopped him, and the rest of the defense rallied. And again, that's short yardage football. That's goal line football. That's December football. That's what it looks like.
Offensively, the point total maybe wasn't what you wanted, but I thought there were a lot of good things to take away from this game. What did you see? And we'll start with your quarterback, Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, well, going into that game, you knew that's a really good defense. Top 10 in a bunch of metrics, just tough to run on, tough to throw on, great players from their D-line, linebacker, through their DB. So we knew that it was going to be a big challenge, and it was at times. And the times that we moved the ball, we didn't come away with enough points. So we missed a couple field goals, should have punched one in there in the red zone. So you understand that the challenge with that defense. I thought Deshaun saw it really clearly. I thought he was operating at a high level. There were throws in there that are as good as they get. And then he knows there's room to grow. I really believe that there's going to be continued growth from him throughout this season.
What's the biggest change you see from Deshaun coming out of that game from the Houston game?
I think the simple answer is comfort and playing back to playing football. It had been a little while since he had played, so just the playing football, getting into game shape, which is also something that you can't discount. But just getting comfortable with his teammates, getting comfortable with the scheme, getting comfortable playing a 60-minute football game.
How's Cade? How's Cade mentally? This has been a struggle for him, probably unlike he's ever experienced at any point in his football career.
Yeah, he's a resilient kid. He's hard on himself, which you appreciate because he's such a competitor. But he's a rookie. Rookies go through these type of things. You got to keep plugging along, keep working at your craft. It's difficult to kick in First Energy Stadium. That's an advantage for us because everybody else comes in there. So we get that. He's not shying away from it. He's going to keep working.
All right. Now we go to the New Orleans Saints, and because of what's going on in the NFC South, very much alive in that division. It's kind of a wild division. What stands out about this team when they've got the ball?
It's very, very difficult to defend, and the reason is they're so multiple. They can put multiple tight ends on the field. They can play with multiple receivers. They have different running backs that can hurt you, and then the 2 quarterback attack. It's unique in the NFL. It's really hard when both of them are on the field because you don't know if Taysom Hill's playing running back or quarterback or wide receiver or tight end. It's hard when one of them's on the field because they both can operate at a high level. So it really does cause you to work hard during the week to have some answers to what they're going to do.
Is it wild that he's the first guy since LaDainian Tomlinson in a season have 2 or more rushing, receiving, and passing touchdowns in the same season?
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. And LT was a pretty good one. But with Taysom Hill, what's so impressive to me, you talk about versatility, he really can do it all. You can line him up at quarterback and run a normal offense. You can line him up at running back. You can put him at tight end. He's split out wide playing wide receiver, not to mention the work he's doing on special teams. He's all over the field on special teams. So he's a player that you can't miss because you know when he's on the field.
Given these elements, do you expect to see more of him at quarterback than perhaps we have seen this season?
I think we'll see. I think that's part of the NFL game. As elements change, as variables change, injuries occur, you have to be ready for where their next step could be. So it's something you talk about, but until you get down there on Saturday, you really don't know.
Coach, thank you so much for the time and best of luck against the Saints.
Thanks, Nathan.